Hi, I'm Dan Gifford, former speech pathologist, singer-songwriter on Apple, YouTube, and psychic medium. My presentation is called The Four Greatest Secrets That Shaped and Hindered Human Evolution. I've always been an explorer, from childhood to adult. Now I'm retired and want to pass on my discoveries to my brothers and sisters. Communication is my forte. I became interested in nonverbal communication working with deaf people that have had strokes, dementia, and other disabilities. I studied the brain by observing how brain damage affected their functioning. The left hemisphere is responsible for audio-verbal communication. The right is responsible for creating our reality. My music comes from the right as well as my creativity. Little children are mainly right brain until they become enculturated. People that have had strokes on the right have far more devastating deficits than people with left hemispheric strokes. So why is the left the dominant one? This leads me to the first secret, that culture has conditioned us over the centuries to a belief system that shapes our perception of the world, but severely limits it as well. We are neuro-linguistically conditioned. If we hear bad things about someone, we perceive them differently. This is meant to control us, to form us into a cohesive culture. We have inaccurate beliefs that shape our perceptions and keep us from expanding our awareness that comes from the right brain. Show me a scientist who has explored this. There are few, if any. One example that comes to mind is our knowledge of dreaming, something we all do, but the scientific community has labeled dreams as nonsense, when in actuality, they are filled with personal, helpful knowledge that should be used to guide us, like the Sonoy tribe in Indonesia. I saw dreams as a way to access a higher reality that we don't have here in our daily interactions. Dreams taught me that they were a coded language, that they were fun to decipher. One dream that stands out in my mind was one I had in the 90s, in which I was walking down Manhattan and saw church after church empty, with tumbleweeds rolling down the streets like a ghost town. I had been wondering how much our society was connected to the divine, and sadly, this was the answer. We live in a materialistic world that has lost our spiritual self. If our world was more connected to the real divine consciousness, we would have more unity and less problems. Public knowledge given by the media, books, schools give us an incomplete view of the world, but it is meant to control us. Take time to reflect on how this has shaped our world. The second secret is reincarnation. Not a secret in religions like Hinduism, but not given credence in the West. Why is it a fact for me? Seeing is believing, like Bigfoot and aliens. I went to consult with a talented medium in the 80s. He introduced me to 4 people that I had lived with in previous lives. They had committed themselves to overseeing my life and providing support. This is for the most part not known to the public because our institutions have ruled out their existence. I had 10 questions written down to ask them, like, what is the rule for going to heaven? In which they told me was respect for others' perspective. Before I could grab my notes, they had all questions answered without seeing them. This is advanced technology that we are unaware of. It takes humans eons to evolve. One lifetime is not nearly enough. For example, how can a profoundly cognitive disabled person understand the spiritual laws? Or do they all go to eternal life anyway? How do babies that have died go to eternal life? Why do some people suffer a lot while others have relatively easy lives? You may say good luck or choices, but no. We choose lifetimes before incarnation to work on certain issues and talents that we may have. You may say, what difference does it make? Well, one is that we cannot judge people equally. A teacher cannot expect the first grader to know what an eighth grader knows. We evolve over time. That's why Christ said when he was on the cross, "Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do." Where do you think you're on the stairway to heaven? You can check out my song, "The Vortex of Love," which is about reincarnation. It's a very pretty song and kind of celestial. The third secret is that there is a direct technological way to connect and communicate with these people in the heaven world. You may say prayer, but this is mainly one-way communication, is it not? In 1988, after asking my spirit teachers to give me guidance, I was lifted up in my sleep and went through the tunnel of light. And my spirit body was connected then to their technology. And I underlined technology. It was a sort of rapture, which most of us think is baloney. The technology there is highly advanced and for the most part unknown to us. It is responsible for miracles and apparitions that we have heard about. When we believe our higher power is a tyrant that can send us to a lake of fire, our trust is limited because we are afraid. We are unable to perceive the knowledge of his existence with belief only. We do not know what issues to work on, why we are living the kind of life we have in reality chosen. The next day I started seeing shapes of different colored light that I realized had messages. This is how you know that a telepathic message is not from your own imagination. I understood this was a spiritual gift to be hooked up to this technology. Now I'm able to send energy to people just by asking, to know future events for my own knowledge and protection. People text me for healing energy. They feel it and they have gratitude. A percentage of people actually see the light in the air when talking to them. The guidance has been used to write songs, give advice, and I show them the light to prove the credibility of what I'm talking about. To illustrate how light telepathy works, I have these colored marker caps. Each color signifies something different. Most of the light that I see is in a vertical rectangle. This one is green. This means it's coming. This means it's going. This means it's true. I have a black one here. I see this as dark negative perception in people. Some people call it the third eye. This is your perception here. Your eyes are actually what you see in reality, but this is perception. Some people have addiction to negative news. I also see black on various parts of people's bodies to signify things like disease, toxicity. When I see the green light on somebody's cheek, it means they like what you're saying. They like what you're talking about, kind of like your mother giving you a kiss. If it's in the corner of a room, it means that you're stuck, and you have to find your way out. I see yellow. Yellow means insecurity, like you're kind of afraid of something. Actually, one time I was watching a PBS documentary on rockets, and the first 2 rockets blew up in the air. Before the 3rd one was shown, they showed me the light in the shape of a rocket, believe it or not, that went up the wall, telling me that the next rocket was going to make it all the way up to space. So they do kind of fun things too, but that just shows you their advanced technology in knowing everything that's going on. Another useful one is just the red light. When you see a red light, it's caution or stop, which is very useful when you're doing something that's stupid or you shouldn't be doing. I've seen this on sometimes, like when I'm driving through a blizzard, maybe to slow down. You see it sometimes in dreams, the red. Light telepathy kind of grew out of my understanding of dreams because it is a visual form of communication that's blended with your environment to give it a multi-dimensional feel to it and much more of a believability. I can communicate with them 24/7. They are unconditionally gentle and understanding, unlike people in this dimension. I'm not saying everybody's bad in this dimension. I'm just saying their patience with me, their persistence and staying with me my whole life is just beyond this world. And I deeply respect them for giving that much time to me. That just shows you the character of the afterlife. I can reach deceased people at will and say hello, and they will respond in light. It is possible that other people over the centuries have discovered this. I think it's very possible. I have not seen on the internet or talked to anybody that has used or has heard of light telepathy. And maybe it's because people won't talk about it because the public will think you're mentally ill. And I think that even psychologists might think you're mentally ill because their belief system does not allow for supernatural things like this. Take schizophrenia, for example, hallucination. People think, oh, you must be hallucinating. You better go see a doctor. Now, to me, that's just kind of hurtful because it's a reality that I want to show everybody. But if people say you're mentally ill, that's tough. And it's hard to stay with people when they think you're either a psycho or a liar. But you have to be patient with people. I promised to do this presentation for them in return for their exceptional service to me, not for my own ingratiation or fame, because I think some people watching this may think that I'm mentally ill. That's okay. But there's probably some people who have the curiosity that maybe it resonates with them. The 4th secret is purity. People think of water, air, chastity when using this word, but it is much deeper than that for the human psyche. Purity is necessary to actually perceive the real world like little kids. I have fasted many times, ate raw fruits and vegetables to improve the purity of my body tissues some of us more prone to toxicity for a variety of reasons. This profoundly affects our health and perceptions of our world. Christ said, "Blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see of God." They'll see God. Toxicity leads to poor health. The cooked, heavily acidic, processed nature of our food today has a tendency to cloud our minds and has a bad effect on our perceptions. It gives us a black third eye in some cases, which is the perceptual eye. I see it in people, and I behave accordingly. Do you have weird thoughts that seem to hinder your life or make you think you're going a little nuts? It's probably from some kind of toxicity. Little kids don't have those kind of thoughts. They're just connected with life. We can be emotionally toxic as well. We bury bad events in our subconscious, just like our body buries toxins. So we are deceived to think that we are clean inside. The science of purity has not been studied much in medical circles, unfortunately. Dark energy is real, visible to me, and unfortunately many people are addicted to it and find it entertaining, especially in today's world with all the violent movies, which I must be honest, are kind of sensational, and sometimes I watch them, but in the back of my head I'm saying this is crazy. But it's really something that people get addicted to, like, bad news, bad events in people's lives. There's some, people used to watch executions in large numbers. Why would they do that? It's just human nature, unfortunately. Check out my music, End of the Rain. That's about my journey, my spiritual journey to cleanse, and my relationship with my spirit teachers. And I wrote that song as a thank you for them too. And I think my mission is just to tell the world about reality. It's not to be a proselytizer of some kind. I'm talking reality, concrete, scientific reality. It's just that our science has not expanded enough to take in what I've seen. And part of that's because of our enculturation to not believe in other types of supernatural things. We watch sci-fi movies, but sci-fi is really advanced technology that really exists. And it's hard for people to believe that there are places, races that have advanced technology over ours. And part of that is just the human ego. We should have more open minds and really discover what reality is. So please share this video with your friends. I think you'll find it interesting. It may change your perspective on things. I hope it does, because I think the world needs it right now. We need something new, something fresh, something new to think over so that we can create a better earth. Okay, friends, take care.